Mark, you recently attended the National Catholic Disability Conference in Salt Lake City. What were your main takeaways from this event?
Well, I think there were 170, 180 people there from around the country who share our interests together, and advocating for people with disabilities in the church was amazing. So, there were some great conversations that took place. To me, one of the greatest advantages of these conferences are not necessarily the sessions that you attend, but the relationships that you build, the people that you meet. With Word on Fire, I have a virtual community for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities and their advocates and supporters and families. So it was a great opportunity to meet some of those people in person. I got to have dinner with my autistic friends one night. It was really a lot of fun. So the National Catholic Partnership on Disability sponsored and organized this conference. I just would like to give a huge shout out to them and the work that they do on behalf of people with disabilities in the church. And that includes mental health, which is an incredibly complex and challenging condition for us, I think, that we're needing to deal with much more effectively than we are. So they do a great job, and there are diocesan memberships available. I would encourage every diocese to join. I think they have about half or a little more of the dioceses in the country now who are members. So there were a variety of sessions, obviously, in various topics around disability. I spoke at one of them on really disability and identity. We have so many perceptions of people with disabilities, and we have these different models of disability that we talk about: a medical model, social model, et cetera. And I tried to get past those fragmentations of identity and really focus on individuals with disabilities, really as sharing in the incarnation, and the vulnerability of Christ that St. Thomas talked about in part 3 of the Summa. He answers the question of why Jesus would come, in human form with vulnerability, and he did to prove that he was in fact fully man, and so we all share in that kind of disability at some point or another in our lives, and people with disabilities especially so.
I think that's a great point that people don't often think about, just that we go in and out of stages of vulnerability in our lives. So
sure do.
Thank you for bringing attention to that.
Sure, thank you.